Poju was a master of disguise, a chameleon of style. Her Instagram perfect outfit and flawless makeup made her the envy of her peers. But behind the glamorous facade, a secret lurked. Poju's stylish hostel mate, a rich and fashionable queen bee, was her benefactor. Poju would often borrow her mate's designer dresses, shoes, and accessories, transforming herself into a stunning replica of a baddie. With each borrowed outfit, Poju's confidence soared. She strutted across campus, turning heads and collecting admiring glances. But deep down, she knew the truth. She was living a lie, masquerading in someone else's style. Poju's friendships were transactional, based on what she could gain from others. She'd cozy up to the wealthy and fashionable ones, using her charm to extract favors and freebies. Her relationships were shallow, lacking genuine connections. Poju had big dreams. She wanted to be part of the university elite kid, the ones who flaunted their wealth with designer clothes and fancy cars. But Poju's family wasn't rich. Her mom was a petty trader at the market, and her father was a government worker. Although they tried their best to provide all her essential needs. As the sun shone brightly on the university campus, casting a warm glow over the bustling students, Poju, a third-year student, walked across the quad, scanning the crowds for familiar faces. She looked stylish in her trendy outfit, complete with a fancy handbag and cool sunglasses. Her coily hair bounced with each step, turning heads as she passed by. As she walked, Poju spotted a group of students lounging near the cafeteria. They were the coolest kids on campus, known for their wealth and influence. Poju's heart skipped a beat as she recognized the leader of the group, a stunning, beautiful girl named Bella. Bella's boyfriend was known for spoiling her with expensive gifts. Poju felt a pang of jealousy as she watched Bella show off her latest designer handbag. She wondered what it would be like to have a rich boyfriend like Tunde, who would lavish her with gifts and attention. A cunning thought crept into Poju's mind. She must do whatever it takes to catch the eye of the affluent clique. After numerous attempts, her persistence finally paid off. Bella, one of the rich kids, noticed her, and Poju's world changed overnight. She began to rub shoulders with the elite group, desperate to blend in. Poju transformed into a quintessential wannabe, willing to do whatever it took to be part of their exclusive circle. She became a constant presence in their lives, always tagging along, eager to be accepted as one of them. Poju was desperate and determined to find a rich boyfriend, and Poju started hanging out at the university's most expensive restaurants and clubs. She would dress to impress, hoping to catch the eye of a wealthy guy. Her friends would sometimes join her, but they would often tease her about her desperation to land a rich boyfriend. One evening, Poju's persistence paid off. She met a wealthy young man named Kunle, who was immediately smitten with her beauty. Kunle showered Poju with expensive gifts and took her on lavish dates. Poju was over the moon, convinced that she had finally found the rich boyfriend she had always wanted. But as their relationship deepened, Poju started noticing strange things. Kunle would receive mysterious phone calls and disappear for an hour without explanation. Poju's instinct told her something was off, but she was too caught up in the luxury and attention to listen. As Poju's relationship with Kunle continued, she uncovered disturbing secrets. Kunle's wealth wasn't from legitimate source, and he was involved in some shady dealings. Poju was horrified, realizing that she has almost become a pawn in Kunle's money ritual scheme. Luckily, Poju managed to escape Kunle's clutches, but the experience left her shaking. She began questioning her priorities, wondering if chasing wealth and status was worth risking her safety and dignity for. But old habits die hard. Poju continued craving the luxurious lifestyle. Even after her harrowing experience with Kunle, she became a yes girl to her rich friends, doing their biddings in exchange for favors and gifts. One day, Boju's friend took her to an expensive restaurant where they ordered the priciest dishes on the menu. Boju, eager to fit in, she also ordered something she couldn't afford, hoping that her friends would cover the bill. But when the bill arrived, Boju's friend refused to pay for her meal. The restaurant staff seized her bag and locked her in the kitchen, forcing her to wash plates to pay off the debt. Boju was embarrassed, her dignity wounded by the humiliating experience. As she washed the plates, Boju couldn't help but wonder if chasing wealth and status was worth losing her self-respect for. She vowed to re-evaluate her priorities and find a new path, one that wouldn't compromise her values and dignity. Boju trudged through her front door, exhausted and bitter. The events of the day replayed in her mind like a broken record. She had been humiliated at the restaurant, forced to wash plates to pay off her debt. The shame and embarrassment still lingered, making her skin crawl. As she collapsed onto her bed, Boju's eyes wandered to her phone. She began scrolling through social media, but her mind wasn't on the post. She was too caught up in her own thoughts. That's when she started noticing the loan app adverts. They seemed to be everywhere, tempting her with promises of quick cash and low interest rates. At first, Boju ignored the adverts, but they were relentless. It was as if her mind was being read, as if they knew that she was broke. They were offering her a way out. She started to feel like they were speaking directly to her, tempting her with their promises. Boju's curiosity got the better of her, and she downloaded one of the loan apps, Katakata loan app. The name itself was a warning sign, but Boju was desperate. She needed quick cash to maintain her lifestyle, and the app seemed like the perfect solution. The app's interface was sleek and user-friendly, making it easy for Boju to apply for a loan. The interest rates seemed reasonable, and the repayment terms were flexible. Boju thought. She thought she had found a lifeline, a way to keep up with her expenses without breaking the bank. But as the day went by, Boju found herself borrowing more and more money. The interest rates skyrocketed, and the repayment terms became more stringent for her. She was trapped in a cycle of debt, and she didn't know how to escape. As the loan apps took over her life, Boju's behavior became more erratic. She would borrow money from one app to pay off another, creating a vicious circle of debt. Now, reality has set in. The loan apps were relentless, sending her messages and emails, reminding her of her debts. Boju started to feel like she was losing her mind. At this point, she stopped attending classes. She was confused and depressed. She would receive calls from unknown numbers, demanding payment, cursing and raining insults on her. It was as if those people were employed to curse people. Boju started feeling like she was losing her mind. She felt like she was being harassed and she didn't know what to do. And she didn't even know how to make it stop. One day, Boju received a message from one of the loan apps, threatening to expose her to her friends and family. They had access to her contacts. Unknown to her, her contact was her collateral, and they weren't afraid to use it. Boju felt like she had hit rock bottom. She was trapped in a cycle of debt, and she didn't know how to escape. As she read messages from the loan app, Boju felt a wave of despair wash over her. She thought about ending it all. She thought about escaping the misery that had become her life. She felt like she was drowning in debt, and she didn't know how to keep her head above water. Boju's phone started ringing non-stop. Her friends and family were calling her. The other day, a family member called her, asking her if she kidnapped anyone, that her face has been pasted all over the internet, that she is wanted. Another family member called her again if she stole something in the supermarket. She asked her if she was okay and if everything was fine. Boju was speechless. She couldn't say anything. She didn't even know where to start the explanation from. She was so ashamed of herself. And lots of friends have been calling her, asking her about the messages they had been receiving. But you couldn't explain how she felt at this point. She didn't know how to face her loved one. She has been exposed. As she sat in her room, surrounded by the wreckage of her life, she realized that she had made a terrible mistake. She had let her desire for wealth and status consume her, and now she is paying dearly for it. She was paying the price. The loan apps had taken over her life and she didn't know how to take it back. But you felt like she was staring into a blank space, unsure of what the future held. She had lost control and she didn't know how to regain it. Thank you for watching. If you were Poju, what would you have done in this situation? Please do not forget to subscribe and like this video, and you can also share. Thank you.